So we believe in a creator. We believe this creator sent messengers to mankind. We believe Jesus was the messenger, Moses was the messenger, all the messengers, and we believe Muhammad is the last and final messenger. So I'm saying this, I guarantee you spend more on alcohol than I spend on clothes. Guaranteed.
As well, yeah.
Guaranteed. Do you gamble? We asked a question about why is the planet a mess, isn't it? That was the original question. And I said to you, every society, drugs, alcohol, gambling, sexual immorality, and interest dealings are destroying all of those societies. Here's the amazing thing, the people you look up to govern you, to guide you, to legislate for you, are encouraging you to deal in these 5 poisons. So they're actually encouraging you to poison yourself. Atheist, Christian?
Oh no, I'm a Christian.
Oh, you are a Christian? What type of Christian, if you don't mind me asking?
Not a very good one.
No, but you're like Catholic, Protestant?
Oh, neither.
What kind of Christian then?
No, I just, if I'm being completely honest, as I say, I'm not a very good Christian. But if I was going to answer that question...
Do you believe Christianity is the truth?
Is the what truth?
Truth.
I believe it's part of it.
Do you believe Christianity and Islam can be reconciled?
Yeah.
It can be. How do you establish that?
Because one came after the other.
Okay.
And one was there before. So both probably have a lot to learn of each other.
No, when I say reconciled, I mean they both can't be correct.
No, they can't.
They can't.
They have to be.
What's the salvation?
They have to be. They have to.
What?
No, that's what I mean. If that's your start.
No, I'll tell you why it's not. I'll tell you why it's not.
I'm saying it can.
I'll tell you what. Tell me why you think it can. Oh no, I'll tell you what.
It has to.
I'll tell you why it can't.
It has to be.
I'll tell you why it can't. Yeah, fair enough. All right. What is salvation in Christianity?
Submission.
To what?
Islam.
No. What is salvation in Christianity? According to the teachings of
What do you
Christianity.
say is? Because what I say is...
Believe in Jesus died for your sins and was resurrected. Yeah. Okay. That will condemn you in Islam. Okay. Believe in Jesus is God, part of a Trinity, will condemn you in Islam. Yeah. So either Jesus was God, or part of God, 3 parts of God, or he wasn't. Islam says he wasn't. Christianity says he was. Can't reconcile that. Yeah, there was or he wasn't, isn't it? So what you need to do is you need to reconcile which is true. They might both be false.
There we go.
But
there we go.
No. But here's what you got to do, you see. We know one of these is false. Because they can't be reconciled. So even if, for example, this could be proven true over that, you might bring something else that goes up against it that it can challenge it. Trust me, there's nothing. Do you get me? So Christianity is based on what? Believing in the Bible?
Yeah.
Which Bible do you read?
I've never read the Bible.
Why are you a Christian?
Never completely.
No, but why are you a Christian? Well, you say you're a Christian because you're born. Yeah, I was baptised. I was baptised Methodist. Never. Family's not a religious family, so your family's not
I
religious.
was baptised. No, I mean my family was completely mad and used to take us to church every week. We had no choice.
Okay. So you believe in a creator?
Definitely, 100%.
100%. And do you believe this creator is the only one worthy of worship?
I believe there's only one, yeah.
No. The only one worthy of worship.
Which, debatable.
So who else is worthy of worship?
The self?
Do you worship yourself?
No. The self.
The self?
Yeah. Yourself, myself.
You worship yourself?
No.
You can't worship human beings, can you?
No?
No.
So, I mean, you worship the person who designed Armani, Lacoste. You worship them by paying for their brand.
I don't worship them.
No, but you pay.
No, but I don't worship. No, that's not worship, is it?
But that's a form of worship. You paid for the brand.
I like the look of it. Yeah, but that's not me worshiping.
You look just as good with just a plain white hat and plain glasses.
But I like what I
You
wear.
like to worship somebody that came up with the idea.
No, of course not. Of course not. I worship the one who created everything.
Yeah.
When I get down on my knees and pray, I don't pray to Lacoste or French Connection. I pray to the one who created me. When I ask guidance, I don't pick up.
Go to the mosque.
No, when I pick up the phone, I don't ring up Lacoste and say, give me some guidance in life, mate, because I like your hats. Do I? Of course I don't.
No.
Right.
Do you call Allah as well then?
What do you mean? Yeah, of course I do.
You're comparing
5 times a day, mate.
Yeah, but does he answer you?
Of course he does.
So you're receiving the revelations.
Okay. Do you understand how Islam operates?
No.
Okay. So we believe in a creator. We We believe this creator sent messengers to mankind. We believe Jesus was a messenger, Moses was a messenger, all the messengers, and we believe Muhammad ﷺ is the last and final messenger, the final brick in the wall. That's what we believe. We believe when the messenger from the creator comes, listen to the message. We listen to the message, that's God talking to you. He talks to you through his messengers. Through his messengers, he sends us guidance to live our lives. We follow that guidance, alhamdulillah, you're on the guidance of the messenger. Bit like a king sends a messenger to somebody. It doesn't matter who the messenger is, it's the fact that what is he coming with. Read what he's brought, act upon that, then you're acting on the king's wishes. Yeah? So this is the same thing. So if in the message that comes from the messenger tells me to pray 5 times a day, tells me not to drink alcohol, tells me not to do drugs, tells me not to do all these things, that's my worship to God, because I'm obeying and submitting my will.
Where does it end though? Somebody else has an opinion, you have an opinion, everybody has an opinion.
What do you mean?
How many people follow Islam?
How many people follow Islam? Quarter of the planet?
2 billion?
Quarter of the planet?
About 2 billion?
Quarter of the planet.
How many people involved in that thing have an opinion like you?
What do you mean?
So when I ask the question, so you'll receive, when you pray 5 times a day, you're receiving this divine message from Allah.
No. Well, listen, let me explain something to you.
So how many other people?
First thing you have to. What's your name, my friend? What's your name, my friend? Braden. No, listen. First thing you have to get in your mind. Forget that stuff. Because if you can't get the fact that Muhammad is a messenger of the Creator.
I get that.
No. We don't believe that, do you?
I don't believe he was the last one.
You don't believe it? You believe the messenger after him?
Yeah.
Why?
So.
Why do you believe that?
Why not?
Oh, you mean the Messiah?
Well, you
mean Jesus coming?
Well, you just made a claim.
No, I never said.
Why? No. Why?
Is that what you meant?
Please, just relax, man.
No, I'm living in hope.
Don't do that, please. Okay.
It's alright. You can always interrupt.
Yeah, he needs you to escape the question, you see. Okay. So you said you believe he's not the final messenger.
No.
Why don't you believe that?
Because I live in hope. I do believe that hopefully somebody will come down, whether it be a man, woman.
Why are you not? Why are you not happy with him being the last messenger?
I never said. There's a way you put words into my mouth. I never said that.
You said you hope he's not.
No, I hope he's not.
Why not?
Doesn't mean that I'm not happy with him being it.
So why do you hope he's not the last? What do you think he left out that he should have said?
Well, look at. Are you living on the same planet as I'm living on? It's a
Obviously.
fucking mess.
Why?
Why not?
Why is it?
Why is it?
Look, well, here's what you got to understand. If you're going to have a conversation and you start making claims that the planet's a mess, I ask you why, then you give me reasons why it's a mess. You don't ask me why. I'm asking you why.
You're showing exactly prime example as to why.
I'm
By
showing.
being ignorant.
I asked you a
And
question.
it's not blissful. You know that as well.
No,
as I do.
you said
Ignorance is not
the
bliss.
planet. No, you
Well,
said.
we can all play with each other at the same game.
You said no. Look. You said the planet's a mess.
It is.
I asked you why you say that, and then you
Do you think
asked.
it's not though? Do you think it's not?
I'm asking you. I'm not interested in what I believe. I'm asking you. You've made the claim. Planet's a mess. So I'm asking you. Burden of proof is on you now.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's a claim? Why do you think it's a mess? And then I'll tell you why I agree with you and why I think it's a mess, and we'll see how we can solve that problem. Yeah.
That's more.
So let's start with you then.
All right. So the planet's a mess because we have one. If we talk about this country, we have a class system. That's obvious. And secondly, is people being in denial about why it's a mess.
So I'll tell you why it's a mess.
Go on, you tell me.
Okay.
Enlighten me.
All right.
Enlighten me.
Alcohol,
Yeah, that's true.
drugs,
Yeah.
sexual immorality,
Yeah.
interest,
Temptation.
and gambling. 5 things.
Well, you could have just said one thing. Temptation.
No, all 5 things. These 5 things are encouraged by the people who run you, who you take guidance from. These people
People that develop fashion.
whomever. No, the government, isn't it? They don't. Well, do you think they'll pass that legislation?
No, I mean, I like to drink, but you'll never see me wear a brand.
No.
You'll never see me wear a brand.
All right. You'll see me wearing brands, but you'll never see me drinking alcohol.
So what's the difference?
What's your point?
Branded your skin, fella.
Can me wear it? Okay. Well,
Branded your skin. Sorry.
What I mean is it's the same.
Okay. You tell me the detriment to me wearing a brand.
Me drinking alcohol.
No. That wasn't the question.
Oh, say it again, sorry.
You got to listen, man. You've been drinking, haven't you, as well?
What's that?
You've been drinking today, innit? A little bit.
Surely smell it.
I can. No, I'll tell you why. And I don't want this to be offensive, so I'm going to try not to
It's
be.
impossible to offend me, don't worry.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. I don't do dialogue with drunks and druggies. All right.
I don't take drugs.
No. Yeah. All right. Go to the first part of the conversation. Yeah. Because not necessarily because you drink alcohol, I think you're some lower class person and that. It's just that the conversation could get a little bit silly. Yeah. Because you might not be as coherent. Now, I don't know. You're a geezer. Might take 10 pints. You only had 1 pint. I don't know. know. Yeah.
I've had more than 10, don't worry.
And the problem I have is this: I've told druggies before.
Druggies? Oh, that's like a nice little...
They're stoned in front of me, stinking of drugs. So if someone's stoned, stinking of drugs in front of me, I've told them I can't discuss with you. Do you get me? So, but I'm enjoying the conversation. That's the problem.
Likewise. I mean, let's have this.
I'm going to try and get past it. Okay, because you compared me wearing a brand to alcohol. All right. So, what detriment is wearing a brand?
It's buying into that thing that if you have a logo on your head, if you have a logo on your heart, if you have a logo, I don't know what boxes.
Do you think I'm better than you because I've got a Lacoste hat on?
I don't think I'm better or you're better than me.
Okay, stop. Every time I ask you a question about me, stop answering about you, if you don't mind.
All right, go on.
Do you get me? Because I said to you, do you think I think this? And you went, well, I'm about me. I'll say it again to you. Do you think I think I'm better than anyone here because I'm wearing a Lacoste hat and I'm wearing a French Connection, I'm wearing Levi's and I'm wearing...
It makes you feel better.
I like it.
If it makes you feel better...
No, listen.
I have a drink, it makes me
How much you spend on alcohol a week?
Nowhere near as much as I spent on that hat.
Well, how much does this hat cost?
Probably 60, 70 quid.
No. All right. How much you spend on alcohol?
What,
a week.
100 quid?
100 quid a week. All right. How much did I spend on this hat, and how many of these hats do I have?
One.
Cost me £32.
Really?
Right? And I like it. And do you know why I bought this?
Suits you, by the way.
But do you know why I bought this hat?
I think it makes you look quite sexy.
Thank you. Do you know why I bought this hat? Shall I explain why? All right. If you watch all of my YouTube videos, I wear a white Nike hat because it's the only hat that doesn't look stupid on my head, right? And now I used to get it from JD, and JD for some reason now don't sell it anymore. And I ordered one online, it was not the same. So now I've got these hats that I love to wear. I've got like 6, 7 of them. They're all deteriorating. I wanted a white hat. No other hat suits my head. I've tried, right? So I went fishing for white hats, and I don't care whether it was in Primark or whether it was in Lacoste. I just wanted one that looked nice on my head. And alhamdulillah, I found this the other day. I found this on Friday, alhamdulillah.
Where?
Have a guess. Lacoste. Lacoste.
Where's the Lacoste shop?
Westfield, Stratford. Lacoste. This was TK Maxx, French Connection. I'll tell you, I bought Fred Perry because I like it. You know why?
When you talk about fashion, you get excited, don't you?
No, because what it is, I don't spend my money on alcohol.
I'm just waiting for you to just do a little...
No, but I'm telling you, because you're the one fascinated with what I'm wearing. I did not mention what I was wearing. So what I'm saying is, I guarantee you spend more on alcohol than I spend on clothes. Guaranteed.
As well, yeah.
Guaranteed. Do you gamble?
No, never.
Never gambled? Alhamdulillah.
Once I went to a casino when it was my mate's birthday.
You don't gamble on nothing? No bookies, no nothing, no cards, nothing? So your money goes on that. But like I said, you spend more money on alcohol than that. Me wearing these clothes is not what's...
That's illegal.
Okay. Do you believe designer brands are destroy society?
Partly, yeah.
How?
How? Well, right, so if that hat's the same hat, but it didn't have a brand on it, would you still buy it? I know you said you went to Primark and you looked for it, so yeah, you probably...
If the hat fitted and it looked nice.
Brands. People idolise...
Look,
wear brands.
When I was a kid, right, I was into the football hooligan scene. And football hooligan scene, football casual wear is always about brands. Back then you couldn't afford the brands. Now I can afford the brands. So it's kind of reliving my youth.
Right.
I'm 45, yeah? So I like the look. What am I going to wear otherwise? I like it. And if I go Primark and buy a shirt, I'll probably see 20 people wearing the same shirt. Yeah? So the reason people buy brands is basically so they don't look like everybody else. They don't want to be individual. And I like to be individual. That's me. But alcohol is destroying society. Is. Go to any A&E on a Friday and Saturday night and you'll see the pressure the nurses are under because of alcohol. Go to all the homeless.
When they finish work, what do?
Probably go and have alcohol. Do you know why?
It's a contradiction.
I'll tell you why it's not a contradiction. Because there's a difference between having a drink that they might have and going out just to get blotto and waking up in a hospital bed. Yeah? Or waking up in a cell. There's difference, mate. Yeah? And if you look at all the homeless in the streets, all of them in London, I guarantee one of those 5 poisons I mentioned, drugs, alcohol, gambling, sexual immorality or interest, was the cause of their homelessness. I believe it.
No, you're right.
And the problem is as well, because they're on the streets now, they're drinking more, and you can't even help them now. Because it's very hard to help a drunk person or a druggie. It's very hard. Because can you trust them or not? You know if they've got the right frame of mind or not.
Do you seeing as though you know so much about this issue, how do you know about it?
Well, I live in England, mate, and I work in a market, and I see them everywhere, mate. And they're always going, got a pound, mate, got a pound, mate, got a pound, mate. That's how I know.
There's always prevention's better than the cure, so before it gets to that point...
Right. So what I'm saying, no, but the point is we asked a question about why is the planet a mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was the original question. And I said to you, every society, drugs, alcohol, gambling, sexual immorality, and interest dealings are destroying all of those societies. And here's the amazing thing.
The answer.
No, here's the amazing thing. The people you look up to govern you, to guide you, to legislate for you, are encouraging you to deal in these 5 poisons. So they're actually encouraging you to poison yourself. Okay, that's why the planet's a mess. Now, according to the teachings of Islam, these 5 poisons will be eradicated. According to the teachings of Islam, this will solve the problem. Islam, you talk about class system, yeah? Does class exist in the teachings of Islam?
You tell me, I've not read the Quran.
Well, you said, you're right, no.
I never.
All right, no. You go to any mosque, I've been to mosques in Kuwait and all this, yeah? I have a billionaires praying next to me. We've had janitors leading the prayer because they knew more Quran than the billionaire. Classes, it does not exist in Islam. That does not mean Muslims don't apply this principle of class, but Islam prohibits it. Islam prohibits racism. You cannot discriminate on colour of skin. If you go to Hajj, you'll see every nation of the world there, mashallah, all in their waishi, alhamdulillah. No one's different here. No one's treated differently. Don't get me wrong.
Where's that, in Saudi?
In Saudi, yeah. Don't get me wrong. There are Muslims who do have racism amongst them.
Of course, they're human beings.
But according to what the teachings, eradicated. We don't have sexism. We don't have equality with men and women. We have equability. Yeah? Each has their rights. Do you know what the Prophet Muhammad said about the husband and wife? He says, husband, do not ask for all your rights of your wife, just in case she asks for all hers of you. Don't rock the boat.
Right.
Yeah? Because the rights of the wife is, subhanallah, I have to go out and work. I have to bring my dough and give it to her. She can go out to work. I can't ask her how much you earn. What have you spent the money on? She gets.
Where's it got confused then? Because that's not the Islam that most of us seem to see.
Because it's culture.
Culture.
And this is the beautiful thing you see. England is waking up to Islam. English lads, I've told you, in the past 4 or 5 weeks, about 7 lads, English lads, have messaged me and accepted Islam. And guess what? Not from an environment of Muslim friends or a Muslim girlfriend. Prison. All that's happened is something's happened. One guy had a Muslim niece and he got worried for her. And he went online to study Islam, ended up with our YouTube videos, watched them all, subhanAllah, accepted Islam. All right. There's many things that will spark the interest.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right? So this is testimony. Now, when you see these English boys coming to Islam, we ain't bringing that culture with us. Do you understand?
Yeah.
For us, Islam is not a bowl of curry. Do you get me? Alhamdulillah, you know, when I first embraced Islam, I used to wear big shawal kameez and all that, yeah? Then I used to wear the Arab dress. And then I said, you know what? Why am I dressing like this? I'm English. Yeah? I'm going to dress English, mate. And my English dress is what? It ain't Primark, right? My English dress was football casual. Yeah? That's just how I like the look of it. When I look in the mirror, I like the look of it. So that's why I chose to wear what I wear.
If it works for you, great.
Exactly.
If it works for
Does it harm anyone? No. Does alcohol harm? Yes, it can harm you. But also, if you drink too much, you could harm others as well. Yeah? And there are people who can't handle what you can handle. So going back to our original principle, Islam is the solution.
Is your solution?
Is the solution. Unless you can give me another one.
Gambling?
No, solution to the problems. Solution to why the world is a mess.
No, I mean, it's great.
Give me another way of life that eradicates the 5 poisons, eradicates racism, sexism, class system. Bring me something.
If that was the case for Islam, that would be great. I would follow you.
Why do you say? But listen to me.
If that was the way Islam.
That is Islam. No, but this is the point.
Yeah, that's the true Islam.
So why are you not on it? If you like it.
True Islam, but that's not what Islam has become.
No, but that's what it is.
What?
So I'm not asking you.
Quality.
I'm not asking you to become a Pakistani and behave that way, or become a Somali, or become a Moroccan. You're an Englishman.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is, accept.
So it's not our. It's not for me. It's not my.
What would happen if you became Muslim?
What would happen?
What would change for you?
What would change? It's never going to happen.
No, what would happen?
It wouldn't happen because it would never
What?
happen. Me become a Muslim.
Yeah,
No.
I said the same as you 16 years ago.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It would take. There would need to be some form of enlightenment. I've walked.
So you need an emotion.
I personally, I've walked in Arab countries.
Forget that. I didn't ask you to become an Arab, did I?
What I mean is, I've had imams and I've met loads of people.
Do you know what to believe to be a Muslim?
What it means to be a Muslim?
No, do you know what to believe? You have to believe to be a Muslim.
Not what you believe.
No, do you know what you have to believe? No,
Truth.
forget that. When you become a Muslim,
Yes.
do you bear witness to equality and truth? No. When you become Muslim, what do you do?
Well, you need to have a calling first of all. If you
No,
have the calling,
no,
fair enough.
we're not Christians, mate. No. You have a spark in interest in Islam. Okay. Wait.
I'm interested in
But what I'm saying,
a lot of other things.
what I'm saying to you is this: to become a Muslim, what do you need to believe?
You need to believe that Muhammad was the final message.
Have you heard of Shahada? The Shahada is what a Muslim, what someone takes to become a Muslim. They bear witness to the oneness of God, and they bear witness to Muhammad being his messenger. Okay. Now you said, I'll never believe, yeah? I need enlightenment, yeah? Alhamdulillah. That tells me you're intellectually dishonest, and I'll explain why. Because the belief in a creator and the belief in Muhammad are objective intellectual decisions. Okay. Now, if you're honest with yourself, there's two propositions you.
Try to do.
Well, let's see, isn't it? Do you believe in a creator?
I do.
Unequivocally.
100%.
So you're halfway to being a Muslim.
And halfway.
Because you must concede, if this creator exists and it created us, it knows us better than we know ourselves. Would you agree?
Agreed, yeah.
So it would make sense then to take guidance of that creator than following your own desires, or the government, or whomever. It would just make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would make logic, yeah.
Right. So the first part of being a Muslim is proposition 1, is to believe that this creator that exists, that caused everything, is the one to take guidance and legislation from. You get that?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Proposition 2, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is a messenger of this creator. Right?
The final one.
Yes.
The righteous one.
Before we get to final,
The murderer. The warlord.
the murder of the warlord. You want to go there? All right, 1 second. You're a Christian, yeah?
No, but that's.
Well, let's talk about Moses, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so was Moses
He wasn't.
Was he a murderer?
He wasn't. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And a warlord? Was he a prophet?
He wasn't our prophet.
Who's
He was
you?
one of.
Was he sent by God?
He wasn't Jesus.
Was he sent by God?
He was probably sent by one of them. Yeah.
How many gods are there?
In my opinion.
Do you believe Moses was a prophet of God?
No.
You don't believe he was a prophet of God? You don't believe the Bible then?
I believe Jesus.
So you don't believe the Bible?
I believe most of it.
So how do you? So you? So you don't believe the Bible when it
Yeah,
says?
that's what I mean. It's always the same thing. You wanna, when I say something, you compare it to something else.
Well, no.
Jesus
No.
wasn't
I'll
a
tell you
murderer.
what. No.
Jesus wasn't
Okay.
a murderer. He wasn't a warlord.
Okay. First thing. You believe Jesus is God? He wasn't God.
Jesus wasn't God. Of course it wasn't. He was a human being. He was a prophet.
Are you a Jehovah's Witness?
No.
Christians believe Jesus is God.
Well, I don't.
So you're not Christian.
No, I have my opinion.
You're not Christian. You're not a Christian.
Well, I don't know.
They burn you at the stake. You're not a Christian. No, they would. If you don't believe Jesus is one part of the Trinity, they'd burn you at the stake,
I
mate.
don't think for 1 second that he was God.
He was just a prophet.
Prophet. The prophet.
And how do you know all about this Jesus and what he did?
Well, I've been told by many other people. How do you know about other things?
I'm asking you.
I personally, honestly, if I'm being completely bluntly honest, I find the whole thing about talking about two gentlemen from thousands of years ago ridiculous.
Right.
And all of the problems.
All right, so let me get to my original point. If Muhammad is a messenger of God, that statement's ridiculous. Because if Muhammad is a messenger of God, he's a messenger of God. And what you think is irrelevant to what God thinks, isn't it?
No, because then I'd be completely
Do you think you know better than God? Is that your claim now?
definitely not.
Right. So if God sends a messenger with his commands, should you obey them or not?
Depends which one it is.
Oh, so you can differentiate between God's commands?
this is where human beings get mixed
No,
up.
I'm asking you. Principle.
you tell me,
Establishing the
seems like
principle.
you know.
Yeah, I believe truly if God sends a messenger, I should adhere to that
Whether it
message.
be Jesus, whether it be Muhammad,
I would adhere to that message.
Buddha.
I would adhere to that message if I believed it was.
without questioning it at all.
No. Why?
You know what I mean? I'm
This
not-
is why I don't debate people who've been drinking. Forgive me, but listen, you've got to pay attention. If I believe,
I'm only here to learn.
if I
don't
believe,
know. You know it all,
right.
so you tell me.
When did I claim I know it all?
No, but you come across like you know it all.
That's your opinion. Okay. So I
I'm
said.
only here to learn.
That's to be decided. Okay, so because we were talking about two propositions, and you brought murderer and warlord in, so that tells me you've got an agenda. To me, anyway. So basically, we go back to the principle. If I believe Muhammad is a messenger of God, then of course I'm going to listen to what he says, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not going to. Oh, I don't like that. What God says. I'm going to. Of course not. But you don't believe Muhammad is a messenger of God, do you? Because if you did, you wouldn't believe there's a messenger after him. Because God says there's no more messengers after him.
I think most of us are messengers of God.
No. God says from his messenger,
You're a messenger of God.
God says through
believe in
his
God?
message, I don't believe God sent revelation to me, no. Alright? I believe that Muhammad has come with a message from God. And that message says there's no more messengers after Muhammad. He is the seal. He is the final brick in the wall. He is the end of the prophets. Started with Adam, through Abraham, Noah, Moses, all the way through.
I mean, he just stinks
So no,
of fascism.
listen.
This is the last one. There's nothing else after me.
Do you know why he's the last one? Because nothing was left unsaid.
Didn't Jesus say you can do better than I?
Okay,
Anything
first
that
thing-
I've done, you can do better.
How do you know what Jesus said?
How do you know what Muhammad said?
Well, you're quoting Jesus, mate. So how do you know what Jesus said? You say Jesus said this is a fact. Right, why do you believe what that book says?
So you say the same about
No, it's not. I'll tell you why it's not the same. I'll explain why it's not the same. Muhammad claimed to be a messenger of God. Muhammad claimed he got this book from...
Jesus said he was God.
Listen. So you believe Jesus is God?
No, I never said that.
Right. So listen to me.
Jesus never said he was God.
Right, so listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm going to try one more time, honestly, right. If Muhammad claims he was a messenger from God, that means the message he brings is from God. Yeah? That means the book he brings is from God. Which means I can rely on the book because it's from God. Okay. So I've explained that. Why do you believe what the Bible says?
I've not read it.
So why are you quoting it?
No, I know a few quotes.
Why are you quoting it as if it's true?
Well,
You said Jesus said this based on what he said.
I
That.
said what he didn't say. He never claimed to be God. He never.
How
claimed
do
to
you
be
know
the
what
last
Jesus
messenger.
claimed?
And he said,
How do you know what Jesus claimed?
"How do you know what Muhammad said?"
I've just told you.
Why? What? Because you can believe what you believe, but I can't believe what I believe.
Well, I've given you a reason why I believe what I believe. I'm waiting for you to give me a reason what you believe. Unless you want to challenge what I said I believed. You want to challenge Muhammad to be a messenger of God?
Just have that. It's not even thundering. Like you've literally just completely washed away everything, all of my opinion.
What's he talking about?
You're trying to be patronising without.
No.
debate.
No, what I'm saying to you is this. You asked me why I believe Muhammad's a messenger of God, isn't it?
No, I never.
No, why do I believe the Quran, sorry? Yeah? And I explained, didn't I?
I never said that, by the way.
What did you say to me? Why do you believe...
You don't even know what I said. You're trying to say
Why do you believe what Muhammad said? Did you not ask me why do
No,
you believe
you
what...
asked me, well, how do I know what Jesus said?
And you said I believe what Muhammad said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I explained about you being a messenger of God and all that, yeah? Right. So I've given you a reason why I believe what I believe, yeah? Right.
The last messenger, the fascist, the last one.
Yes. Right. I'll give you my reasons. Now, if you want to challenge that, Bismillah. You want to challenge it?
No.
Right. Fine. Alhamdulillah. So you accept. So I've given you.
That's what you want to hear.
So
You win. Sorry.
no, I want to hear you answer a question. That'd be beautiful.
No, what did I say a minute ago? I said I'm here to learn.
No. Will you not? Will you no? Well, look.
No.
Every time I ask you a question,
Yeah.
you ask me the same question.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Quote me again.
Okay. I asked you, how do you know what Jesus said? How do you know what Muhammad said? It's like a flip me in. So then what I did, I accepted your deflection and I dealt with it. So now it's back on you. Right? So why do you believe, how do you know what Jesus said? Because you quoted him. I know what Jesus says because the Quran says what Jesus says.
You know that. We're not that different. I know cool, you definitely know cool.
Okay. Are you going to answer the question?
What How do I know what?
Why are you
I wasn't
quoting?
about 2,000 years
So why are
ago.
you quoting Jesus
I
as if he
wasn't
said?
about 2,000.
Did you not quote Jesus as if he's saying something, as if you know he said that? Did you not? You used it as part of your argument, mate. You brought Jesus'
I'm
words.
not arguing. I'm not arguing. My hands have been folded the whole time. You're the one that elaborating, doing this, doing that, moving about.
Okay.
I'm not arguing. I said I'm here to learn.
So you quoted Jesus, didn't you?
No.
You know what? It's been fantastic.
Do you know what?
Have a good one.
Pleasure.
Have a good one.
We'll have to have a conversation and coffee.
Come sober next time, please. Come July the 15th, I'm back again. Come sober.
I'm completely sober, mate.
You're not. But anyway, it's been great.
No, pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
All right, I'm going to do a.
Coffee.
I'm going to butcher the whole conversation over here.
Nice.
You'll be like, did I really say that? You're like one of those people send a text when they were drunk and you wake up in the morning. What did I say, Matt?
When you get back home, pleasure.
Take care, man. All right. What's your name again?
Brady.
Brady. Can I use your name? Is that all right? All right. Alhamdulillah. Is that our channel? All right. Okay. That was Braden. Nice lad. Had a few beers. Sunny day. English lad. No. Is what it is. Okay. But he doesn't really know why he believes what he believes, and he has his ideas that I can't even work out what he was on about. He kept asking me the question. He went back to the two propositions. I was just trying to explain that we believe Muhammad is a messenger of Allah, and if he's a messenger of Allah, we act upon that. And then what we did elaborate on was that the world is a mess. That was Braden's claim, which is fine, and I agree with him. The world is a mess. But what is the solution to it? Because what's causing the mess is being encouraged by the people governing this world. That's the problem. So the people who govern this world encourage the mess. And the people who live in this world indulge in the mess. But what is the shining light out of all this? Islam. Why? Because the one who governs the universe is the one to take guidance from. Because we can't trust the ones who govern the earth, we need the ones who govern the universe. And when you know the one who governs the universe, he's the one who governs your soul and he knows what's good and bad for you. And when you act upon these things, you will see these poisons eradicated. And I guarantee you, mothers and fathers, because I know of so many English boys accepting Islam and they're afraid of you. They're afraid to tell out, they're afraid to say what a beautiful way of life they've embraced now. They're afraid to say to your mum, don't worry about me, I'm never going to be an alcoholic now because I've accepted Islam. Or mum, I'm going to take care of you in your old age now because I've accepted Islam. They're afraid they're going to be called, oh, you're going to Syria now. Oh, you've been brainwashed and sad. This is a travesty. The whole world is a mess. The people are waking up to it and they're afraid. They're afraid to tell their families that they've discovered something beautiful, which is Islam. And I'll say it again to you. I challenge anyone, bring me a way of life better, anything, that will solve the problems that Braden said we have, the mess we have. I challenge any way of life, bring it. Buddhists, Christians, whomever you are, bring it. I guarantee you cannot compare to Islam. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum.